Hello, everyone. We're back with another consultant interview, this time with the wonderful Anna Bittner of Wake Forest University. But before we get into the interview, I just want to remind you all we have our summer programming coming up. Our high school spots are filling up quickly, but timing's hard. But outside of that, we also have our college program that is going to be bigger than expected. So please get on to that, and it'll be a great time. And then lastly, at the end of the summer, we'll have our Boutique Plus Burner tournament, where we hope everyone signs up, and there's really cool prizes. Please check out debateboutique.com for details about all those events. And with that being said, we'll get into the interview. Hello, Anna. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Enjoying my day. It's a good time to be alive. Minus the whole pandemic stuff. All right. So we'll just get right into it. So first things first, tell me about yourself. What kind of debater are you? What kind of successes you've had? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm a debater at Wake Forest. I'm going to be a junior next year. I went to college prep for high school, so the Bay Area in California, for people not familiar. I am kind of a cool debater in my opinion, because I've really made every argument ever and done like every speaker position, even this year. So like my partner Ari Davidson and I have literally swapped every speaker position, which is really fun, but also kind of goes to show that like the way I approach debate is less so like I have one favorite argument or I have one specific strategy, and more so just about the game itself. And I think like that love and appreciation for the game is really what like I keep coming back to, and why I really appreciate debate, and also like Debate Boutique as well, and what you all are doing. And in terms of success, in high school, I like never had a bid in my life. Lost every bid round, like maybe a record number of bid rounds lost, but I was at the public forum TOC before they like changed the rules. Got 10th speaker there, which is exciting for high schoolers. But for college, last year I had like, as a freshman, I had a pretty good record of either breaking even or having a winning record. But this year, I think I've broken at every tournament, including the NDT, and was like 25th speaker, which is kind of exciting. So just getting there was exciting, but like, I don't know, that was also really cool.
I love hearing that about debate, the not only the kind of underdog story coming into fruition in college, which is awesome because it shows that hard work and dedication pays off, but also kind of the willingness to dabble in any type of debate argumentation, speaker style, or whatever. And I'm glad you mentioned that it's something that Debate Boutique brings forward, because I was going to say, I hope that our program forefronts that, and adding you on board is only part of that. So that'll be awesome. But secondly, let's hear about those coaching credentials. So what's it been like after high school? Now you have this super successful college career. Tell me about your coaching experience and who you've worked with.
Yeah, so I've actually started coaching like the second I could when I was a sophomore in high school. So like working with novices was always my favorite thing. Like I would always spend my free periods like working with whoever I could to like get better myself. And then starting last year in college, I coached a team called from Eagle, just like two really small, or like a small program, but two really smart women in debate. And then I also worked with college prep, so that was always fun. And then this year, I've worked with college prep a lot, both PF and policy. So there's some pretty successful public forum debaters from college prep at the TOC. I always mix them up. That's my bad, but. Then I also worked with two young women from Bronx Science who are absolutely brilliant, and they're the comrades, which we love to see. And then for the TOC, I got to work with South with UC Wall actually, and they made it to semis and had a bunch of speaker awards, which was amazing. But yeah, I've also like been a lab leader in Lincoln Douglas the previous summer. I've like judged at every camp possible. Probably will continue doing that just because I like debate and I enjoy kind of watching and judging as much as possible, because that's how I learned debate. So
I'm really glad you talked about not only coaching in high school, which is something I didn't know. That's really awesome. Very few people, I think, start coaching really early on. So you have a lot of years under your belt, which is something that's really fascinating to hear about. But also like all of the different types of debate you've coached. That's something that I feel is very rare. I feel like often the time policy debaters were kind of like no new friends style approaching debate, which is like fine, but like it's it's wonderful to hear you reaching out and doing different styles of debate, because like ultimately we all are a giant debate community, and it's nice to see kind of the overflow on that. But kind of going off that, we've heard about the coaching side, whatever. What's it like being an educator of these students? Like, how have you understood yourself as an educator throughout the years since high school? Kind of what arguments do you like coaching? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so starting in high school, I kind of always saw coaching as a way that I could learn debate better. So be it like sitting in hotel lobbies with the freshmen before like the night before a tournament begins when things were in person, and just like explaining everything from what a politics dissad was to like what the hell is ontology. And that was always cool because it kind of forces you or makes you learn how to explain your arguments to multiple audiences, but also it makes you understand your arguments to a new depth, because I've always kind of thought like if you can explain your arguments to a like high school freshman, let alone like your grandma, for example, which I also do, but that's kind of means that you understand your arguments to a depth that no opponent can really like take you off guard with. Meaning if you kind of can explain it to anyone, there's not much someone can say that will throw you off, because you already know what is going on. You kind of understand it to a depth that you've already understood what arguments answer what you're saying. But then in college, what's cool is I've like started college going into Wake debate saying like, I want to go for head good every debate. Like I want to learn how to like go for the politics dissad and read plans. But then this year that was not the case. It's been like anarchism and communism in every round, which is so fun too. But I think that kind of translates into my coaching because, like, for example, the girls I worked with at Bronx Science are really, really similar to what Ari and I say in debates. So always the CAPK, almost always Escalante. We're repurposing technology for the revolution. But then like with Eagle last year or college prep the past 2 years, it's like, how can we get to hedge good? How can we get to like drone strikes good? How can we say cap good? Where's the impact turn? So that was always really fun because the kind of like secret, I guess, or the way I approach coaching is never so much argument based, but more skills based. So how can we make your argument the most persuasive? What do you want to say and how can we say it better? And that's kind of why I've also dabbled in like LD and public forum, just because they're all kind of the same tenet to me, which is just how can we like take what you're saying and like add some things to it that just makes it even more persuasive, or maybe like a good argument is now a round winning argument.
I love everything about that. Like, you know, it's just like loving debate as the act of learning itself and kind of just catering to students. Like, I don't know, that's just how I've always viewed debate, and it's really nice to hear you all say it. Like, the future of debate is bright, all the cliches, all that stuff. So wow, wonderful. But given that you coach a variety of arguments, different styles, and you like evaluating students based off of kind of what you see as their skills, what type of students do you think most benefit from your teaching style? Or like, how do you think it's best for them to navigate kind of matching their questions to how you educate?
Yeah. I've always loved working with novices the most, kind of. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I love novice debate. I think it's so fun because that's really like, you get outside of all the different techne and skills and debate language, and it's just what people want to say. And that's always been like the most authentic and true version of like debaters, in my opinion, which is why I also just like love judging novice debate. But even in terms of like a TOC like finalist or semifinalist, I've always thought that it doesn't matter what arguments you want to make in terms of like my coaching style or instructing style, but it's more so what do you want to do in debate and what are your goals in debate. So if you want to like make it to the finals of the TOC, like I'm down, I'll coach you to the finals of the TOC. But if your goal is to be like a better community member or learn something else, I might be a better coach for you, just because I've always kind of like, I know I can coach any argument and can probably talk about any argument, might not fully understand it, but I can have like a conversation with you to kind of prove that you understood. But I've always kind of thought that it was more important to me to work with people who just love debate, because that's really like how I approach debate too. So like, I was always that kid who like grew up learning debate by watching all the videos or like watching all the live streams. Like, see, well, I grew up watching your debates obsessively. So that was always something like I always looked for in students I work with, just people who love debate and kind of want to bond over that. And so after every tournament, like my students now always do this thing where like they tell me like 5 things they learned. And that's the most exciting. Like I care way more about them saying something they learned or something they had fun with doing more than like if we got a speaker award or not. Like trophies are fun, but that's kind of temporary in a piece of plastic that is not as important to me.
I love it. Returning debate to its educational roots, which I think is so important because, you know, as you were hinting at, it takes a community for this activity to even exist, and we love when students love to give back. So I'm very happy to hear that. All right, the last kind of formalish question before we get into the most important questions of the interview. Why you in Debate Boutique? Why, like, what intrigued you in our program? Kind of tell us about it.
Yeah, so I really appreciated from the get-go how many students Debate Boutique works with. So it's not just one school or one program, but it's really just anyone who loves debate and kind of reaches out to learn more. And it's also like you all have an incredible staff that of course I would love to work with and learn more from, because even just like watching you all give lectures or practice debating with you all against students or watching those practice debates, I've learned so much. But I think that's kind of why I love Debate Boutique, because you all not only very obviously just love debate as a community and as an activity and new way to learn about the world, but also you make debate more accessible for people who also love debate, who just never had that chance to like, or that same sort of institutional support, which is something that I really totally empathize with and understand, because that was like my entire life growing up in high school, not really like having a partner or maybe like not having the most coaching attention or resources. So that always spoke to me a lot and made me really excited when you all reached out. And I don't know, I was so excited to work with you all.
Love to hear it. And we're very excited to work with you as well, because, you know, you clearly fit all of those things that you said.
Love that.
And I'm glad that's the image we're putting out there. Without further ado, the important questions. The first one, what is your favorite argument in debate, if there is one? And why is it your favorite argument?
Probably CO2 ag. That was like always a meme at my high school, but I don't know. I always think a debate can be won on CO2 ag. It's not ethical, but I don't know. Maybe it is. I just think it's fun. I feel like the most fun debate can be is when you just make an argument because you want to. No real reason. Like, yeah, pedagogical like importance is amazing and important, and so we're like just talking about the community, but there's also some benefit to just having a few rounds where you just play debate like a game and just have a few rounds where it's like, we're gonna go for all the impact turns and we're just gonna see what they say. And that's always been fun to me, especially as a coach, because that's when I've always seen students like the least anxious or like the least like nervous. And I've always had like anxiety in debate too. So that always kind of made me the most excited as a coach to watch. Like, those are the rounds that I want to watch my kids debate in, because like they're so excited, they're on their game. Like, they might not know how to go for like Ice Age coming and good, but it's not really the point. It's kind of just like watching people give speeches that they're so excited and happy to give. And that's just kind of like a whole other kind of side to debate that I don't get to see as often, but whenever I get to see those debates or be a part of those debates, it's kind of my favorite.
I love that. CO2, man, I wish more people read CO2 Ag and the debates I judged, because like so entertaining. You're right. Impact turn debates are just the pure joy of debate coming through. So that's awesome. I love that. And then the second most final important question, pineapple on pizza, yes, no, and thoughts. And yes, there is a correct answer to this one, at least in my opinion.
Well, like, this is a hot take, but like since I was like 3 years old, pineapple pizza is my favorite. So I've always been a Hawaiian pizza fan. Like even now, like I live with my debate partner and we have to get like half and half or just 2 different pizzas because Ari refuses to get near pineapple pizza, but I don't know, it's my favorite.
That is so the correct answer. Grilled pineapple is just so delicious. Anyways, I won't get too much onto the soapbox, but thank you, Anna, for the interview, and thank you, everyone. We'll see you on YouTube later. See you later, folks.